Hi, Camilla. So look, thanks very much for taking part in the Business Spotlight interview series. So maybe just start off by telling us, a bit more about yourself and what you do.
Sure. Thank you for having me. I'm a casting director, and I've been one for 30 years, which is quite a long time. People keep getting confused between casting directors and casting agents. And there isn't really such a thing as a casting agent. So I'm a casting director. And yes, I've been doing it for 30 years. Long time.
Excellent. And what does that involve?
Oh, okay. So, well, a casting director is basically the person that provides the cast in anything from commercials to movies, TV, stills, content. There's so much, and advertising has got so kind of more than multifaceted. I mean, there's just so many different types of advertising, like I say, content and all the OOH and the FOD and the whole blooming lot. So, and I actually prefer doing advertising to film and TV because it's short, sharp, and to the point. And if you work with good creative directors and creative teams, so you're not doing cheesy commercials, which are horrible, but as long as you're doing something creative and fun, commercials, they come and you should do 10 in a month, whereas a movie, very different thing. So that's my preference. But I do all of them. I do it all. And actually, I specialize in a thing called streetcasting, which is a silly term that crazily I coined in the very early 90s. And now it seems to be a sort of standard industry title, which is so weird because I just literally sort of streetcasting because I couldn't think what else to call it. But anyway, yeah. So that's my speciality, real people, basically. Real people.
Great, very good. And good to find out a bit more about what you do. And in terms of the pandemic, are there any actions that you took because of the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic absolutely screwed me. It really did. And I'm sure, I think most people in my industry got a real beating from it. I mean, I was in the middle of the most fantastic job. It was this really big job with Norwegian client who I never worked with before. And I have to say, the Norwegians are clueless, and it was a great job. And then suddenly, as with everyone, that was that, and it was all shut down. And I did not work again. And I'm freelance, obviously. I didn't work again for over a year. I mean, my outgoings were the same, and there were no incomings at all, which really. And then you see what's interesting is because I'm not the youngest chick on the block, it made me start to question everything. I started to think, well, maybe that's it. Maybe I will never work again. And so it developed into so much more than just no work because of a lockdown. It became me questioning everything. And I'll tell you, it's been slow to build up again. And I'm really worried about jinxing, but things seem to be getting better. But no, they seem to be back on course.
Good. So on that note, what would you?
It really knocked me for six, actually. It really did.
Yeah.
You completely cut out just now. I didn't hear anything. What was that?
That's all right. I don't think I said much yet, but I think we can edit that out. So. Look, on the note then, obviously, look, it's good to hear that things are sort of bouncing back and coming back for you. What would you say the future looks like for you? And do you see any challenges moving forward? Perfect. Look, so look, thank you for that. So what would you say the future looks like for you?
Well, the future is interesting because, you know, the future has got to be stabilized again, posting there. My future is interesting because I have got as much drive and energy as I had when I started casting in 92, which was 30 years ago. And I have every intention of going on for another couple of decades. But I will be leaning on my young team because, let's face it, it's an ageist business. Obviously, the fashion side, much more so, but it is ageist. And so maybe I get a wig and a bit of prosthetics and refuse to do anything other than Zoom calls. No, I'm joking. But my future is looking good work-wise, but age-wise, I am contemplating how to hand over and maintain the business, even though I may be stepping further and further back. That's my my big question at the moment, and that obviously leads on to where the future is going to. But yeah, that's but things are good at the moment. Work is coming in, and I'm so happy to say that we're busy and busy and busy.
Excellent, excellent. And what would you say has been, you know, obviously you mentioned you've done it for a good amount of time. What's the biggest learning over that time for you as a business owner?
I lost the two words in the middle. Say that again.
That's all right. So I was saying, what's the biggest learning that you've had as a business owner?
Oh, okay. I would say learning to employ people successfully, appropriately. I mean, I don't mean, you know, obvious, you know, make sure that your work staff, you know, you bring diversity in the office. That's all obvious, but it's much more than that. I tend to overcompensate if somebody is doing well. And if I think that maybe they don't have that much confidence, I maybe overdo the building up. And that's something I've got to watch out for. And it's what I would tell my my 21-year-old self before starting. I mean, I started my first business at 23. And so I didn't have much time to really learn properly. But that's something that is really important because, you know, I have a very special relationship with them, which it isn't a friendship, and it would be wrong to call it such, but we're so close that maybe it should be. I don't know, but it's something that I think needs a lot of contemplation from other business owners. I mean, I know that it's an important thing for me anyway, learning how to employ people well.
Yeah, thank you. And, you know, what is it that currently inspires you?
Oh my God. Okay. Well, the brilliant thing is my family, I've turned into one of those kind of Fox dynasties. It's so hilarious because my ex-husband is a photographer director. My stepson is a really successful photographer. My son has just directed the latest Christian Dior campaign. Hello. My nephew is the most gorgeous boy and has started modeling. My other nephew has started producing at Smuggler Films. my niece has started running on the Marvel movies. So it's just so fabulous. That excites me. But also, I am so invested in finding new people, new faces. Like I'm pretty ancient, but I insist on going to festivals every summer because you get so many amazing faces. And because I specialize in street casting, that's real people. So it's, oh my God, they're everywhere. And so I have to take friends with me in loads of cars. But when I started doing it, it was pre-digital cameras. So we used to have a sack of Polaroid film, literally, that we dragged around Glastonbury. But yeah, I'm as excited today as I was 30 years ago about faces and work. I love it. Love it.
Excellent. Yeah, I can see that comes across. And look, as a final thing, is there any offers or any news that you would like to share with our audience?
Oh God, yeah. Well, okay, this is a weird one, but I got fed up with phone calls from parents whose children want to be models and had persuaded their parents to take them to a model agency. Parents don't know, so they Google model agencies, they find one, and they go along. They then get ripped off to the tune, on average, of £10,000. And I mean, ripped off, but not just the money's being stolen, but their children are thinking that they are models. They believe that they really do have a job booked in a month's time with Ralph Lauren. Of course they don't. It's bullshit. And then the offices move, the numbers are disconnected, and that's that. So I'd had enough of that. So I started on TikTok. I'd never even been on TikTok, but I started a thing on TikTok. I post videos. My first video, 255,000 views. Hello. I know, I'm so impressed, I can't believe it. But I'm basically imparting the information that I have gleaned over the last 40 years working in this industry, because I was an agent beforehand. So I know a lot about it, even if I don't realize I do. And so I am just making endless videos. And believe it or not, Ed, I'm quite a hit with millennials. Who would have thought it? Much more so than my own age group. But hey, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. And it's brilliant. It's going really well. People are really getting informed, and I've saved a number of people from being ripped off. Really, I have. It's brilliant.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. That's something different. That's something great. Nice way to end it. Thank you very much for taking part. Really interesting, really fun, and great to see your passion for what you're doing and for helping other people.
Brilliant. Thanks so much. And if it's too sticky, we can do it all over again.